reps about getting signed up for those, because it's really well worth having a go on those. But those two-way multiplayer modes will effectively play up with various different strengths and weaknesses of the various characters, but we'll be able to talk more about those soon. For the PC version of the game, there is we're going into a partnership with Valve and their Steamworks system. So we'll be using Steam for matchmaking, for anti-cheats, for auto-updating, and also achievements. We'll also be using their Steam Cloud system, which means that you'll be able to save your profiles and save games to the Steam Cloud and then access those from any PCs that you're playing the game on. And then in addition to the 3 single-player campaigns, the 18-player multiplayer mode, we've also got a 4-player co-op mode in the game as well, called Survivor. So you'll be able to play with 3 friends as United States colonial marines facing off against waves of AI-controlled aliens. So it'll be a horde mode from sort of Gears of War, kind of like, or a Left 4 Dead style mode that we're also including in this program. So loads of gameplay going in there, loads of gameplay features, loads of different approaches to the Alien versus Predator universe as well, and that's all coming out in February 2010.
You mentioned that you can mix teams. Does it mean that you can play in one team Marine, Predator, Alien?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's a bit against canon. It's breaking the universe a bit, but it's so much fun to be able to play as Marines and Predators and Aliens on the same team. But it's absolutely worth doing because it is so much fun. But then for the purists, you can play Aliens versus Predators versus Aliens.
And you mentioned single-player campaign, so there will be a single-player campaign for Marine.
Yeah.
Is this the same story arc, or
it's
just
overall
told from
it's the same story, covering the events that happen around Freya's prospect. But each species takes a sort of a different view of that story. So it's all happens in the same timeline, and you'll see the same sort of environments, but you'll see them at different times of the day or after different events have happened on different sides. Darius was running through a number of sewage ducts there, and when he looked at the grate, you can see some of the colony streets above him. And there's a level in the Marine campaign where you are part of Marine Patrol going through that colony, and you're looking out for attacks from aliens, and you don't notice the alien player scampering through the drainage ducts beneath your feet. And similarly, as the Predator, you'll be jumping from building to building, looking down on the Marine Patrol as they make their way through the streets. So you'll see all of the events of the game from sort of slightly different angles. And while each single-player campaign has a story to it, it's not until you play all 3 that you'll understand the whole story. So it's a bit like a Pulp Fiction. You'll see glimpses of the story from different angles, and you have to put them all together.
But there will be no co-op mode?
No co-op in the main game, no. That's just a standalone separate survival.
Can you choose which character you will play first, or have you freedom to
Yeah, all of those campaigns will be open to the player, so it's up to him how he wants to choose which one he wants to go with, really. We don't really want to block anything out for the player, we want him to enjoy everything.
And how long is the single player?
It very much depends on how you play it. We're looking at a single player campaign all in around sort of 12 to 14 to 15 hours. It's very difficult to tell because the Marine campaign is a lot easier to gauge because we're always forcing the player forward. So we want you to get to the next. We want you to feel under pressure. We want you to get to the next sort of standout moment. So we want to push the player forward, so we can kind of guess how long it's going to take finally. But with the Alien and the Predator, it's about stealth. It's about how you approach the situations we give you and about how they play out. So the AI won't always react in the same way, things won't always be in the same position, so you'll have a markedly different experience with someone else who plays that section. And so what takes someone 30 minutes to try and be as aggressive as they can through it might take somebody who takes their time an hour or so. So it's a bit difficult to gauge, but probably around sort of 12 to 14 hours.
We want to make sure that the player isn't overwhelmed by too much gameplay, so it will be a cinematic experience, and we feel like what we're aiming for will be just right for what players' expectations are.
Will there be any RPG elements that you can customize your weapons or skills, or is it straightforward?
To be honest, it's straightforward. There isn't any RPG elements.
When you get to multiplayer, obviously you've got to choose the skins,
Yeah, it's customization. I mean, all the weapons themselves have secondary fire and things like that, so some of the weapons that you're seeing now, when you get the full set of weapons, you'll see some cool things that we've done to kind of distance themselves from the old movies, but kind of modernise them just slightly for the kind of modern FPS.
In multiplayer, will there be different classes, or is it Predator, Alien, Marine?
Yeah, it's Predator, Alien, Marine, so they basically form the different classes, if you like. So when they're all versus each other, versus teams, that's an interesting game in itself. But those mixed teams, you can obviously have Marines playing to their strengths by holding the middle ground with long range like power weaponry, and then you'll be able to use a Predator teammate to kind of get around the line positions you want to take on the other team, so you can mix things up.
We'll obviously have a ranking system as well.
So you can maybe you have different classes, players have Stallion in the end.
Yeah, we don't have that.
There won't be that in multiplayer. There'll be certain, skin elements that we'll talk about in the future that might affect that, but it'll be based on rankings and like a ranking system.
And that was what I wanted to ask. If there's a Predalien or Alien Queen that you can play?
No, can't play.
Can we hope that we can play the demo before release?
Yes, we're planning to.
Yeah, we are planning to release 7, yeah. It's tricky for us, we don't know which one to give.
Okay. Something we'll also
Modding.
no, I think the team are going to do what they can with that, but it's very much sort of something they'd like to do. They'd like to see user-generated content, but at the moment it's not going into the spec of the game, but you never know how these things pan out.
Which engine is this game based on?
It's actually Zero engine, which is actually Rebellion's own engine. So it's a 10-year engine, and over the course of time it's added new features and everything. So everything you see right there is all from their own tech. So it's very good for dynamic lighting. It actually suits the game really, really well. It's very good at AI, it's very good at lighting, it's very good at dynamic lights as well. So it's just a lot of the ingredients that we needed to really do the IP justice, the engine support, which was great for us.
Also making the aliens move convincingly in the environment when you're facing off against them. So then grabbing onto items in the environment, jumping from boxes to boxes, grabbing onto the ceiling and moving convincingly around corridors and some of the rooms you see. It's a very challenging thing to do from a development point of view, but the Zero engines built to help us do that. So
just what you saw with the marine stuff is very, very old for us. That was back in February earlier this year, and obviously we've gone so far ahead now with the features and the AI that we've got. We can have aliens randomly breaking through pieces of ground or above, and this is random, so you can go through that situation again and not encounter the same moment, because the AI is waypointed in so many different ways. It chooses where it wants to attack, what's the best route to get to via objects, I think. And that's all their tech doing, so it's very good.
There's no heavy scripting, it's all random.
We're not relying, I mean there are some scripting modes, but we're not trying to heavily rely on that. We'd like to try and give the player a lot of dynamic with the alien, especially of what the creature is and hiding in shadows. So we'll favour the dark and they favour objects. It really depends on how it's all set up, but a lot of the time it will appear random, and it is pretty much random.
But you saw in that Marine gameplay at the start, there was some scripted events in that, because we want to build up that tension. We want to create these fantastic set pieces that you'll play through and you'll think, oh, that's cool, that's just like a part of the film. I can see where that excites me from. So.
But yeah, we will have those dark corridors, strobe lighting. It's all cool.
We're not talking about that just yet, but as you can imagine, there'll be a wide variety to suit all the different game types. You'll find there'll be some familiar gameplay modes. Obviously, as you're an FPS multiplayer fan, you want to play certain gameplay modes, obviously being who knows. But as I said, there are some really cool game modes you can only do with aliens and predators, because that's part of the IP, that's part of what the creature is, so it plays to some of those strengths.
And how many players can play together?
18. Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. Cheers for your time today. Hope you have a good show.
Thank you. Thank you.